Imagine waking up to a city trembling violently, the ground shaking beneath your feet, walls cracking, and a deafening roar of chaos filling every corner of your street. People are screaming, dust fills the air, and the familiar world you knew moments ago collapses around you. In that instant, you realize survival is not guaranteed. Safety is gone. Bricks and concrete rain down like hail, turning streets into death traps. Amid this devastation, somewhere buried beneath the rubble, people are alive, trapped, and counting every heartbeat as the seconds stretch into hours. For 6 full days, they fight silently against suffocating dust, crushing weight, and the unbearable uncertainty of rescue. The first moments of the earthquake are pure terror. You hear the initial roar, the screeching metal, shattering glass, and above it all, the panicked cries of neighbors. Instinct kicks in. Some run, some freeze, some hide. But for those unlucky enough to be caught under fallen walls, ceilings, and beams, the nightmare has only begun. Trapped in darkness, bodies pinned, limbs crushed, the mind begins its desperate negotiation with fear. Every breath is a struggle, each inhalation a reminder that oxygen is limited and time is against them. And yet, amidst despair, human will ignites. One pulse of hope, one movement, and the fight for survival begins. The first day underground is a blur of pain, confusion, and fear. Dust coats every surface, making the air thick and suffocating. Limbs ache under weight. Bones, once free to move, are trapped and strained. Voices echo faintly, sometimes answering, sometimes fading. The mind alternates between clarity and disbelief. How did this happen? Will anyone find us? Water, food, and warmth are distant memories now. Darkness is total, and the only thing keeping consciousness intact is sheer determination. Hunger sets in, but it is overshadowed by thirst and the simple need to breathe. The second day underground magnifies the terror. Rescue teams are working tirelessly above, but the concrete and steel can take hours, even days, to clear. Every small movement risks collapse. Panic is constant, yet calmness becomes essential. One wrong breath, one sudden shift could trigger more debris to settle and crush fragile hope. Communication is limited. Those trapped feel isolated, not only from rescue teams, but also from their loved ones. Fear and hope intertwine in every heartbeat. Some people speak to themselves, reciting prayers, memories, loved ones' names, trying to maintain a thread of sanity. Each passing hour tests endurance. The third day stretches into an eternity. Hunger intensifies, dehydration bites, and joints stiffen from prolonged immobility. Yet the human spirit is astonishing. Stories emerge from survivors about people supporting each other, sharing any tiny drops of water, holding hands, and whispering words of comfort. Even in darkness, camaraderie becomes survival. Physical pain is compounded by mental anguish. Every sound above, the scrape of machinery, the hammer of tools, elicits a spark of hope, a heartbeat quickening. But false hope is common and disappointment is crushing. By the fourth day, weakness is pervasive. Muscles fail, energy is almost depleted, and oxygen feels thinner. Still, trapped survivors cling to memories, promises, and inner resolve. Some people sing softly, recounting stories to keep minds sharp. Others meditate, using visualization to push back panic. Every small sensation, a vibration, a draft, a faint voice, becomes monumental. The fifth day tests the limits of endurance. Dehydration and malnutrition challenge physiology. Skin dries, lips crack, and the body weakens. Pain intensifies with immobility. Yet psychological resilience is profound. Humans adapt remarkably to extreme adversity. The will to live becomes a singular focus. Thoughts oscillate between despair and hope. Memories of family and loved ones fuel determination. Mental energy becomes as vital as physical strength. The sixth day is the final stretch. Bodies are frail, voices weak, limbs barely move, but survival instinct is relentless. The first signs of rescue, a distant voice, a faint scrape of machinery, ignite raw energy. Each sound is amplified, attention hyper-focused, signaling that freedom may be near. When the rescuers finally reach them, the extraction is delicate. A wrong movement can collapse debris further. Yet, when light finally touches their faces, eyes adjust to daylight, the air is sweet, and life suddenly feels unbelievably precious. Every survivor emerges with a story of unimaginable endurance, a testament to the human will. They were alive for 6 days in the belly of disaster, a place where every breath, every heartbeat, every movement was a negotiation with death itself. This scenario demonstrates the fragile yet astonishingly resilient nature of human life. Bodies endure pain and scarcity, minds endure isolation and fear, and spirits endure the crushing weight of impossibility. These survivors remind us that even when everything seems lost, hope persists in the most extraordinary ways. Above the rubble, rescue teams celebrate every success, but underground, each second mattered more than words can describe. For 6 days, trapped humans relied on minimal resources, ingenious improvisation, and sheer force of will to remain alive. The extraordinary aspect is not just survival, but adaptation under extreme pressure. Humans hold breaths longer than imaginable, reposition bodies carefully to prevent further injury, and maintain consciousness despite fatigue and fear. Psychological endurance, more than physical, becomes the decisive factor. Memory, imagination, and inner dialogue become tools for survival. The first glimmer of light becomes sacred, every tiny vibration a message, every faint voice a potential lifeline. The mind expands perception, noticing the smallest details, a faint smell of air, a dust pattern that indicates shifting debris, a sound that suggests a pathway toward freedom. Time stretches infinitely underground. Seconds feel like minutes, minutes like hours, hours like days. Yet the human spirit maintains awareness, alertness, and resolve. Faith, whether in family, self, or chance, is crucial. Hope alone does not sustain life physically, but it sustains decision-making, careful movement, and the mental energy to endure. When finally freed, the survivors experience intense emotional release, relief, shock, elation, and overwhelming gratitude. The memory of those 6 days leaves permanent marks, physical, emotional, and psychological, but also cements the profound strength of survival instincts. Their stories inspire others, showing that extreme adversity can be met with extraordinary courage. The world watches and marvels, understanding that survival is rarely about luck alone. It is about adaptation, endurance, and the unyielding drive to live. Even under the most punishing conditions, the human body and mind can persist far beyond what seems possible. The lessons extend beyond disasters: patience, resilience, creativity in problem solving, and the irreplaceable value of hope. Every survivor's heartbeat during those 6 days became a quiet declaration against impossibility. Their experience proves that when trapped under immense weight, surrounded by darkness, and cut off from all support, human life can still endure through sheer willpower and ingenuity. The extracted survivors, when reunited with family and friends, carry stories of miraculous endurance, moments of near-fatal misjudgment avoided, and subtle strategies that kept them alive against all odds. Rescue is the final act in a long sequence of human determination. It is not merely machinery and manpower above ground. It is every small, deliberate choice made under rubble that cumulatively sustains life. Breathing, conserving energy, maintaining mental clarity, and supporting one another where possible become acts of survival. For 6 days, trapped humans showcase the apex of adaptive behavior, combining physical restraint, psychological ingenuity, and unwavering hope. They remind us that extreme adversity reveals not only vulnerability, but also the extraordinary capacities of the human spirit. Humanity, in its rawest, most desperate moments, can rise above fear, pain, and scarcity to defy odds that seem insurmountable. Every rescued individual carries a testament to resilience, ingenuity, and the sheer unbreakable will to live. These stories resonate far beyond the disaster zones. They illuminate the power of endurance, the value of cooperation, and the extraordinary potential latent in every human being when confronted with the edge of survival.